Hey JT, thanks for talking to us tonight. It seems like you guys are somewhat in control of the game, and then all of a sudden the ball's in the back of the net, right? Just simple mistakes that seem to cost you guys over and over again. How frustrating is that for being a goalkeeper and in those positions? I don't know that you were super busy tonight.
Yeah. No, continue. Sorry.
No, please.
No, obviously it's frustrating. I think it's a frustrating game in general. I thought we had a pretty good sense of control in the game and a good tempo, especially in the first half. I thought we looked really solid in the back. I think just a few mental lapses. And it's not just one person. I think it's all 11 people on the field. It's making sure that we can stay locked in for 90, 98 minutes is key. Obviously that we have a lot of games in a row coming up, but they're really simple actions that for the vast majority of the game we do really well with. And it's not like I'm having to make 10 saves on the night and keeping us in the game. And they had 3 shots on goal and 2 went in. So as a goalkeeper, it's super frustrating because I feel like I can do more, and I think I always try to look in the mirror first and then evaluate off of that.
And then as a veteran, and I think Marco was sort of talking a little bit about what the veterans are trying to keep everybody calm in some of these situations. But as a veteran, you've had ups and downs in many years, that type of thing. How do you keep everybody sort of from letting this spiral out of control? Because with all the games that you guys have coming up this month, getting off to this start doesn't put you in the best headspace for the rest, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think we can be frustrated tonight, and then when we wake up tomorrow morning, it's back to work. I think it's a really long season. I think if we get too ahead of ourselves and, very doom and gloom now, then, I mean, we probably have 30-something games to go. So it's up to us in the locker room. It's not just the veterans as well. I think it's everybody. I think everybody showing up to training every single day and putting in the effort that's required. That's what propels us forward. That's what propels us as a team. And I think that's what we can hang our hat on at the end of the day, is the effort that we're putting in consistently day in, day out is what's most important.
Hi, JT. What are you seeing in front of you in terms of when things are not going well? Tonight's goals, both of them a little bit soft. What's not happening that you want to see happen?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first one is just a ball over the top. I think when there's not pressure on the ball, then as a group we have to, we all have to be on the same page. I think the worst situations that happen is when one person does one thing, another person does another thing, and then a third person does also something else. So I think it's just the consistency of moving as a unit. And like I said earlier, it's not just a back line. I think we're moving as a unit as an 11. I think defending starts in the front and it trickles down all the way to me in the back. And then the second goal, it starts with a build-up, kind of an awkward ball in the middle that turns over, but we have numbers back. And I think we have plenty of numbers behind the ball, and the guy just kind of dribbles down the line. I think I can do more as well in the second goal and, potentially cut it out and do my part rather than letting him just play the ball across. So, yeah, I mean, I think I just look, like I said, I look in the mirror, I start with myself. I think we have amazing coaches that can talk about everybody else, but I really like to focus on what I can do to help the team win and what I can do to, improve my performances to make sure that when I'm not having to save 10 balls a game, but it's crucial that the 2 or 3 I have to make, that I do make.
JT, thanks for your time. I think as a team, both goalkeepers, the Galaxy this season and MLS, have given up more goals than they made saves, and that's just a stupid stat. And I'm wondering if you can explain why that is. It seems as if the defense is limiting the shots on goal, and so when they do give up a shot on goal, is it just like you're in a terrible position, you can't do anything about it? How does that stat come about?
I think stats in sports are a little bit tricky, and I think they can be overblown. I think it's telling that we've had a very limited amount of shots on goal, and I think a limited amount of chances. It goes to show that we're defending well as a group for the vast majority of the game. I think that's what that stat shows to me. I think when you can dive into it, or you can kind of make stats whatever you want. You can conclude your own outcomes, regardless of how I might feel in the goal or how somebody else might feel on the back line. But I think for me, that shows that we're doing really well collectively, and I think it's something that we can build on. I think it's something that we don't have to get frustrated over, that if it's one save versus one goal, obviously for me, I'd love to make 0 saves and have a shutout every single match. That would be ideal. So I think it's when I look back at this game and when I look at the tape, I think it's just how can I, make those 3 saves, because they only had 3 shots on goal, and if we keep it 0, then we obviously win the game.
Hey, JT, thank you for your time. This season we've seen a little bit of back and forth between the goalkeeper position, who's starting and who's not. Earlier, Greg said he's not really committed to one player yet. But for you, why do you think you should be the starter for the rest of the MLS season?
I think that we're lucky here that we have a really healthy competition between Novak and I think Brady as well. I think the 3 of us with Kevin work really well together, and we push each other. So it's not. Nobody is guaranteed the role. Nobody's given the role. Just because I played this game doesn't mean I'm going to play on Wednesday. It's just, I think it's coming in every single training session and being able to put my max amount of effort in and just show up for the team and do whatever I can to help the team win. I think I possess great leadership within the locker room. I think I can help the back line with my communication. And I think at the end of the day, it's just about making saves. It's what I talked about in the last question. It's as a goalkeeper, that's what you're paid to do, and that's what your role is to help the team and to make as many saves as you can to make sure that we can put ourselves in the winning positions.
Hey, JT, thanks so much for your time. You got to Los Angeles off the end of a pretty long injury. Now that you've actually, earned your place and you're playing, is this the best you felt since that injury, now that you've had a run of games? And the second part to that, we heard some displeasure from the crowd tonight. Do you have a message for the fans, perhaps, about the performance and about the current run of form? Thank you.
Yeah, I'll start with your first question. I think I feel better now than I have in my entire career. I think I'm in an amazing spot. Physically, mentally, I'm a lot better than I was even before my injury, and I'm super proud of that, just the work that I've done regarding my own mental game, my performance. I'm super proud and very pleased of where I'm at. I think to your second question, obviously, we're just as frustrated in the locker room. We want to go out there, we want to play well, we want to perform in front of our fans. They're the fabric of this club. Their support, and we know how much effort they put into being here. We know how much effort they put into coming game in, game out, on the road, at home, and I think in the locker room we feel it just as much. And I think as a fan base, I think that what you're going to get from this team is a bounce back, and you're going to get a team that's extremely committed to one another. It's extremely committed to winning. It's an incredibly tight-knit group that just because of one loss, we're not going to let it deter us for, the next 6 games. We have to come back Wednesday with a winning mentality, with a positive mindset, and we go from there.
Thanks for your time, JT.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Josh, Alex, Rob. Start there.
Hi, Marco. Thanks for talking to us. I think we talked a lot about this team needing to come out for faster starts in terms of just the start of this season and how important that would be with all the competitions that you play in. You guys haven't gotten that so far, certainly not in the league side. Is there concern that this looks a lot like the beginning of last year and not a progression into 2026?
Nah, honestly, I don't care about last season. Honestly, it's not in our heads. But the start was not good. That's a fact. And we have to change simple things. And if we can do it, it would help us. Doing a game, doing different types on phase of the game. and we are struggling at the moment. I mean, even the loss against Kansas, in Portland, they are just small things who makes a big difference. And sometimes we are not aware of these things in difficult or in some situations. And we are not killing the game. And then we concede a goal, and then we are a bit in a rush to come back. And even when we are come back, we have the momentum on our side, but then suddenly it goes in the other way, and then it makes it even harder for us. And it's today it was really frustrating.
What are those simple things, and how do you change them?
I mean, it's simple basics in soccer, helping each other in difficult moments, even when you don't have the confidence on the field, on yourself, but just to show up, to give an option for your teammates if he's in a difficult situation, and then things are going easier if you are helping each other. You're going forward, you build a momentum, and if we are not doing this, and most importantly, if we are not stopping to do mistakes, because it costs us everything in the moment. It was last year, the season was the same, and we should really aware of these type of situations, like today. There was not really a danger from Minnesota today, honestly. I know we was not creating that much chances, but I was quite sure in the second half we will build more momentum on our side, and then the goal will come. But you never know in soccer, in football, what happened, and it's frustrating.
Marco, thank you. Thanks for your time. Thanks for coming in. There seemed to be a time in that game when you decided that I don't know if you got frustrated, that you were going to try to win the game by yourself, and you were very active. Obviously, you can't win the game by yourself, and I know you said you don't want to talk about last year, but parts of what's going on so far feel like the beginning of last year, and I'm wondering if you as a leader, what can you do? Are you a vocal leader? Do you talk to guys in the dressing room? Do you try to show it on the field? What can you do to change things?
Of course. I'm not a guy who needs to speak every day. I'm not that guy. But if I speak, then everybody should listen, and it's not about like who's saying it. I don't care if an 18 years old player can say something too. I don't care, as long it's the good decision and it's positive. And sometimes you have to try to wake up not only the other guys, including me, but it starts with, honestly, I hate losing so much, and it pissed me really off today, and the other games too, when we are not winning. And it starts for me in training, that you have to show. It doesn't matter, it's a 2 against 2 or 3 against 3, 4 against 4. You have to love winning and to give everything in this moment. And that's simple details who makes a difference. And at the moment we are a little bit struggling with these things. And the good thing is on Wednesday we can turn around things. And we come back on Monday with new energy, new positivity, and then we go to Luka and try to show a different game.
Hey, Marco, Greg was saying in his session in here that one of the issues is that on attack, there's this desire or this emphasis to get to goal as fast as possible. Let's make something happen now, rather than letting it develop in maybe a more organic manner. What's happening with that? What do you see? Yeah,
sometimes I see the same. Honestly, I mean, it's quite hard sometimes to understand the situation, because as a forward player, you always want to go and attack and try to create chances. But of course, it's really helpful to understand also the situation. Even, I don't know if it makes sense to go now in a 2-against-1 or 3-against-1 situation, or just to keep the ball, make them a little bit tired, to play from side to side. These are always things that we are trying, but sometimes someone have an idea, and it's not bad if someone have an idea. We just have to follow them and help him in the situation. But yeah, even today, we were trying honestly everything to create something up front. We had enough chances, for my opinion, in the second half, not so much in the first half. And then it's about to be clean in the last phase, up front. I think that's what we have to learn, that we have to stay clean in the last section. And
Hey, Marco, thanks so much for your time. In the lead up to this game, both Greg and Justin spoke about the importance of getting off to a successful April with a win. Now that hasn't happened, what is the mindset like going into a very difficult game in Toluca? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, every game is difficult. I don't care if we play against Toluca or against Miami. Every game you have the chance to win. And with this squad, you have every game the chance to win. But at the moment, we are struggling to put everything together. And we have to work so hard to win a game. And sometimes you have the feeling the opponent, I don't know, we are doing one mistake and we are 1-0 down. Then we come back, again, mistake, 2-1 down. And it's hard. Then it's coming to the mental thing. And then I'm always trying with the other veterans just to keep calm and go again. But back to your question, I don't care about really on Wednesday. It's a good team. I'm happy to play there. I love to play against good teams. So we are Galaxy, and we are capable to win every game. It's not long until May, until the break, and we have to win games, and it has to start now.
3 more for Marco.
Hey, Marco, thank you for your time. You're talking about earlier about maybe not reading situations right. Do you feel like this team is, just maybe a bit too slow to read attacking moments, or do you feel maybe it's a bit of selfishness from players where maybe somebody wants the glory and you feel like you guys cut your guys' moments short when you guys are in the final third?
Yeah, I mean, that's a part of the game. When you have the situation and go one against one or 2 against 1, and sometimes you have to try it and then you shoot. Sometimes you have to pass the ball. Of course, sometimes you are frustrated. It's part of the game. We are all in this all together. I mean, we have a good squad. But like I said, at the moment, we are struggling to put everything together to win a game. And like I said, the last 3 games, it was completely unnecessary that we couldn't win one of these games. And we lost already 8 points then. And it's frustrating, yeah.
Marco, vielen Dank für die Zeit. Ich frage jetzt mal etwas, es kann sein, dass Sie jetzt sagen, habe ich überhaupt keine Lust auf die Frage, weil man merkt, das geht Ihnen nahe heute. Ihr ehemaliger Arbeitgeber, auch mein Arbeitgeber, hatte heute Morgen ein Spiel, das eine ganz verrückte Endphase hatte. Darf ich Ihnen dazu eine Frage stellen, ob Sie das verfolgt haben und wie Sie das wahrgenommen haben, heute das Spiel? Oder haben Sie auf die Frage keine Lust heute?
Ja, kein Problem. Ja, ich habe es verfolgt. Ich saß beim Frühstück. Natürlich verfolge ich meinen Ex-Verein noch sehr, sehr intensiv, soweit es die Zeit zulässt. Habe mich natürlich gefreut, dass sie am Ende noch den Lucky Punch gesetzt haben. Und ja, wünsche Ihnen natürlich alles Gute für die restliche Saison. Ja.
Danke.
Marco, thank you for your time. I know you just said too that you're pissed off and losing isn't great, of course. It's a difficult evening. However, with that said, what positives can you take from today? What did you see that you think, it's not all doom and gloom, we can work on this. What did you take out of today that maybe will give you the signs that the team can improve going forward?
Honestly, a lot. I mean, I see the boys every day and I see the quality in training and everything. But like I said, in the game, it's quite hard at the moment to really get the advantage in the game, to be in front 1-0, to get the confidence, and makes us easier for us maybe. And I mean, we are creating chances a lot in the games. Not so much in the first half, more in the second half, in the last games, I would say. But we are there. We are just, it's like I said, it's just small details at the moment. And we are on the edge of getting in front. But then we have to show more the mentality of, doing it and the killer instinct inside of us. And it's, like I said to the boys, it starts with me to help more, to score more goals, to give more assists, to help my teammates, and then in the end to be more successful with the team.
And the message from the manager and the voice of the manager is still very much a positive thing for you guys in the locker room.
Yeah, I mean, at the end, you know how the game is. Of course, when you're losing, always the head coach is the first one. But it's part of the game. Honestly, we are the guys on the pitch, and the coach can always decide something and change something, of course. But at the end, we are on the pitch and we make the decisions. That means that we have to be more focused on us, on our game, and that can be always only if we are doing it together. We are not that team. We're shouting against each other, but it's very important that we stay positive. We still have good chance, but we have to start winning, of course.
Thanks, Marco.
Thanks for your time, Marco.
Yeah. You're welcome, guys. Thank you.
Hey, Greg. There was a lot of talk before the season about getting off to a fast start at home. This is your fourth game. You guys only have one win. How concerned are you with this start you guys are off to at home?
Yeah, it's not good enough. The start's not good enough. We've given up too many points at home. We're all in there, understand that clearly. I think, it's got to get better. We just said home results. This has got to be the last points that we're dropping at home. We've got to be much cleaner and much better. So, am I concerned about it? Well, of course, because I think one of the things we have to really understand is, as a team, how we're going to win games. Without Joe, which is one of our big pieces in chance creation, and our winger on that side, we've got to have a better vision collectively of how we're going to win. I felt like in the first half, when we broke that initial pressure, when we got to the attacking half of the field, we were just so fast to try to go score and try to go finish an attack, and we felt like we never really established our control of the game in the first half on the ball in the attacking half of the field. I feel like, again, but we spend a lot of time we spend a lot of time working on that and how to break down a team when we put them in a low block and to be more possession oriented and to swing balls from side to side and finish attacks. And it's like we don't give ourselves a chance to breathe. We get to the attacking half and we're just so pulled by the goal that we've got to go score it right then and in that moment, and we turn over the ball and then we go back into the defending moment and then we try it again and we turn over the ball. And so again, I think we talked about in there, collectively, we need to be very clear when we step on the field about the decisions we make and who we are to win games. And I don't think we are, especially without Joe, I don't think we are defend for stretches and play on the counter. You know, that's not going to be who we are. If we have Joe, maybe we have a little bit of a different setup and situation. But that's why we need to be clean with the ball, and we need to make good decisions, and we need to create motion in our attacks and movement. And it's better at the end of the game. But why is it at the end of the game? Why isn't that who we are at the beginning of the game? And that's what we've got to get right. And yeah, I think it's some. For me, I thought trying to set up the team. I didn't love how I set up the team in terms of trying to fill the left side up and our width and all that kind of stuff. I didn't love that. I felt like we finally got into a better scenario in the later part of the game. We tried to use Joe inside and outside, just trying to create a better ability to play forward and build forward and get some guys into good pockets and spaces so they couldn't just keep step out pressing us and forcing us back. So I think we got to a better structure at the end, but I still felt like we broke pressure enough in the first part of the game that we didn't need to race to goal, that we needed to get across, bring the other side into the game, force them to defend in stretches. When teams are on the road in this league and you can force them to defend and to work hard, they'll fade over the course of the game, and then you can start to find bigger gaps and bigger pockets and finish attacks and get first attacks, second attacks, third attacks. And when you attack fast, it's one attack at a time, and then the ball comes back into your half the field. And that's how we were for too much of the game. And so, again, I go back to it. We just have to be clear as a group on how it is we feel like we're going to go about getting results and how we're going to perform, especially at home and defend. And when you're on the road, it might be a little bit different because it's not so easy. But in terms of the conditions and things like that, it's never easy. But at home, we've got to be clear about how we're getting results, and that's part of why I feel like we're losing results or we're giving up simple goals again. Like it's a one ball over the back line, and it's just too easy. And then the second goal, we've got more numbers than them in between the ball and the goal, and he just kind of scoots around us and plays a ball where we have more numbers than them in the box, and it finds the back of the net. So again, it's just the concession of the goals while we're working to get ahead of the game. We've got to be able to play to zero here at home too. Like we've got to be stingier in that regard. But I do think we end up putting ourselves in some of these situations because of the way we rush attacks, and we are impatient on the attacking half the field, and then we create transitions that over the course of the game, they become expensive as a team. And then you're a little bit more tired each time you have to defend. And so again, the collective identity of how we're going to win games just needs to be clearer across the board for everybody out there. I can take it.
And just one more about the setup. You had Sanabria on that left side a little bit higher. Why did he get to start there? Maybe not Tommy. Yeah. I know you brought Tommy in the second half there. What were you thinking there with Sanabria getting to start there?
Yeah, it was a little bit of. It was going to be an inverted position as we saw. We were trying to give a little more freedom to our fullbacks to start low and build into the attack, overload in the midfield using him. Probably suits Eric a little better. I'm thinking about a lot of things coming up here in the next few days and who I'm going to play where and what role they're going to play. And so, yeah, in the end, you saw just more mobility and more comfort in the role with Eric than what Lucas was able to. But when we're using Marco in the 10 and Elijah and Eddie in the pivot, there's looking at the possibility of being able to overload the midfield with Lucas and what that can be, and so we wanted to see it. Yeah, and it's part of the setup that I didn't love. It's not Lucas's fault. It's just part of the setup I didn't love.
Great, thanks for talking to us. You also had Cuevas on one side. You had Aude on the other side. I mean, as it goes, a more offensive sort of back line, trying to get forward. Were you trying to get more out of the back line because of how maybe unbalanced that was in the midfield?
Yeah. I was given more green light to Julian, who in the past has been sitting a little lower. Part of that was again playing against a back five and holding Elijah at times a little closer to home, so that we could again try to overload the back line using Marco a little higher, Lucas coming inside, things like that. We were trying to get numbers ahead of the ball and be able to have width and be able to have enough of an overload in the middle. So again, we looked at if we build in a 3, then they're going to step straight out to us 3 for 3 because they had 3 at the top, and so we were looking at the building with the 4. So again, all part of the setup that I didn't love, and was working sort of through trying to keep Gabe wide. Then it was going to be who was wide on the left, and then we went with Harbor late, and I felt like we started to pin them back a little bit more and create more pockets for us to work. So again, that I put on me. So,
And then you talked about how you guys win games. Where does that have to come from? Obviously, you've set up a team in a way that you think they can go out and play and win. You probably train that way and you do all those things. The fact that they don't know that, or that they haven't figured that part out yet this far into the season with the amount of games that you guys have played, does that concern you?
I think it comes down to yes, but yes and no. Yes, because it comes down to decision making on the field too, right? Like being pulled forward by the goal and thinking we have to attack the goal in 3 or 4 passes is a process of decision making, and guys recognizing to slow it down, bring us forward. I think some of our personnel really want to go score goals, and so they are attracted to the goal. They want to go fast, and they want to take those opportunities when they see them. And some of those opportunities are really low percentage chances that we take high risk and in terms of turning over the ball, and we end up turning over the ball. And so I think, again, just it's got to be a combination of accountability for decision making and making sure that guys are understanding it, and getting guys to adhere to the ideas of what we're trying to do in terms of setting up and breaking down. I think they were also aware, as we felt like, and we didn't establish long enough possessions to force them to drop into that low block, but going into the game, there was a sense that they'll go into a lower block 5-4-1. So I think some of the internal motivation to go fast for the guys up front was to try to attack before they dropped into a low 5-4-1. So I think sometimes when you prep for a team who will sit deep on you, sometimes the adverse result or the inverse result is the guys try to go really fast before the opposition gets set. So again, that's when we need to be disciplined, and we need to set up, and we need to play the long game and not just play the short game, if you will, of trying to score on every single possession at the start of it.
Hey, Craig, that desire to attack very quickly, is there any residue from Ricky? In that when Ricky was here, you guys would attack very quickly at times and just
and successfully, to be fair,
and
right?
Successfully. But
it's a different group of players, and that's something we have to recognize, right? And so it's not the same. We're not going to win games exactly the same way we did before, and so again, especially without Joe, we're not as dynamic at the top and on both sides and going through it. So that's where I think we need to be able to control games a little bit longer and be a little more pragmatic about how we manage 90 minutes per se.
But is that in the head? Because Gabriel's one of the ones who is
certainly
doing that, and
Gabe wants to score and he wants to win the game. Those are the two things he wants, and he's perfectly happy being the guy who can score the goals and win the games, but he wants to, and so he's driven and pulled by the goal. It's the and I don't blame him for wanting to take that responsibility and score and win the game. But in the context of the game, it's making the right decisions, right? Not just him, but everybody. It's making the right decisions when it is to go fast. And Ricky was the one in the past, and I don't want to keep talking about Ricky because he was the one who changed the speed of the game, and so now it's different. But we're not the same team. We're not going to win in the same ways, and pragmatically as a group, we have to recognize that adjustment. And that's why I want us to be a better defending team, and so that we can manage games for longer stretches and not have to win 4-3 or 3-2 or these kinds of things. We need to be more solid defensively, and we need to put in a better shift on the defensive side and make sure that we stay solid on the defensive side, because games are going to be 1-0, 2-1, things like that. We're going to need to be mindful of that.
Third straight game that JT has started. Has he become a de facto number one?
I would say it's still a work in progress. Really busy season. I think they're two very different goalkeepers, and so I'm not committing at the moment. I felt like he brought more calm to the team in the early part of the season. So we'll see. We're in 7 games in 23 days again, and lots of travel and stuff like that. So we'll build through that.
Hey, Greg, thanks again for your time. You may disagree with this, but it seems like more like the beginning of 2025 and not the second half of the season. And I'm wondering what happened to those lessons that we all talked about that you learned in the second half. Have those gone away, or they're just not? What's happening? What do you see?
Yeah, I think again, I think it's understanding how we're going to be successful and win games with a different group of. It's not an entirely different group of players, but with Joe not on the field, with different things. We have to be more clear about it. We have to be better about it, and we have to be all collectively committed to it. So I think it's a fair point in terms of the home results. Still early on in that, but I think it's a fair point in terms of the group needs to be clear about how we're going to get results, and that's something we fought through in the beginning of last year, and it needs to be clear now, right? And that's certainly a fair point.
Hey, Greg, thanks so much for your time. The fans made themselves heard tonight. Obviously, no team or no coach wants to disappoint the fans, but they obviously are quite disappointed. And so we saw the team come over to where the fans were in Victoria Block post-match. What was that like? And perhaps do you have a message for the fans at the moment? Thank you.
Yeah, listen, we're all competitors. Every single player out there hates the results, hates to lose a game at home or lose any points at home. So we're on the same page. We understand that collectively we need to be better. And I don't think they said anything to anybody out there that we aren't very aware of. And I think it hurts when your fans say that to you, because you want to please the fans and you want to put on a good show and you want to win games and you want to send them home with a positive vibe and energy. So I think that's why we go down there, because we need to hear it and we need to accept it, and we need to show up and be better. And I think that's part of the relationship between us and them, is we've got to do our job and they got to hopefully keep showing up and supporting us, and we've got to do better.
Thank you, Greg, for your time. For the first goal, it's a ball over the top that Mauricio gets beat, and the second goal for Minnesota is a giveaway. I mean, just how much does it hurt to kind of maybe see, I guess, a cheap goal maybe given out from a coach's point of view? Thank you.
Yeah, they're difficult.
Sorry.
No problem. The difficult goals to give up. Again, you play against a team that's stingy. They're playing 5 in the back. I don't think we're a team that's going to be scoring 3-4 goals every single game. So again, as I said before, when teams score goals, we have to make them earn the goals. They can't be simple goals. We don't track our run. There's no pressure on the ball. We've got to track our runs. We know these things. Instead, we start to track, and then we try to hold an offside line, and that's what I kind of saw in it. Have to watch back. Instead of just tracking the run and dealing with it. The second goal, again, where we lose the ball and how we lose the ball is so important to us. We put ourselves in a bad situation. We still had numbers, I felt like, and the right guys to deal with it, and we didn't. And then it makes it very difficult to get a result in a game, because again, we at the moment we're fighting to get goals. Right? We had some good looks. It was. Even the goal we score, even though we were in a great position, it takes two attempts to score a goal, even though we're in a great position. Gabe had some good looks from what I would call more mid-range, not necessarily from as close as we'd like to be. And, we're kind of in the keeper's wheelhouse with some of those things. So, but yeah, we can't give up soft goals. We've got to be cleaner about that. But I think some of the soft goals is a product of the way the game gets transitional from the start, and you start doing a lot of work to defend early on because of the way we attack so fast, and then we're defending in longer stretches, and then we attack so fast that over time guys start to get fatigued and we make mistakes. But we want that to be the opposition, not to be us, right? And I think our failure to take care of the ball in good ways is putting more physical challenges on us, or more transitional defending challenges on ourselves.
Last question for Greg.
Hey, Greg. the modern game is so demanding, and we're seeing that more and more season after season. We see it affect players mentally, physically. I just wondered, with some of the players in the team who maybe haven't played multiple competitions in a season, how they're dealing with that. And then also for you as a manager, you've done it now for multiple seasons, but it's still just not easy, isn't it? Where you're thinking, okay, Tuesday you've got to travel, then you've got to come. It's one onslaught after another. Does that take away from the football?
Look, I like to think we can all compartmentalize and focus on one thing at a time. That's what we talk about. That's how we try to pursue things. We had a longer break because of the international break, so we did cover more things in the course of these 2 weeks that looked a little bit bigger picture than just this one game. Maybe that's something that we should consider because we do play some very important games that are going to be very different than the game tonight and coming up pretty quickly on Wednesday and after that. So. But yeah, I look, it's demanding. It's physically demanding. The travel is no joke. All those things are true. They're true for everybody who's in the competition, not just for us, but they're true for everybody in the competition. They challenge your roster and all levels of it. You want to be as healthy as possible. But at the end of the day, you got to step out and be competitors and compete and put your best foot forward. Whoever gets called upon and as well as in terms of my preparation of the group and all that. We all have to step out and be there. If you want to be at a club like the Galaxy, then you should expect to be in multiple competitions and be ready to deal with it. And so from that regard, we have to accept what it is and be better and be more competitive in each of these competitions and games.
Thanks for your time, Greg.
All right, thank you.